For many professionals, LinkedIn has become the modern job marketplace. Recruiters reach out, opportunities appear in your inbox. A career move can begin with a single message. But police in Bengaluru say criminals are now exploiting that system. The city's cybercrime division has issued a fresh warning about fake recruiter profiles and fraudulent job offers circulating on LinkedIn. And the scale of cybercrime is already extremely significant. Authorities say Karnataka has lost more than 5,474 crore rupees to cyber fraud since 2023. That's a whopping number. And discussing that and a lot more, joining me today is our tech journalist, our very own Supreet Kundinya, who has had a conversation with the cybercrime division here in Bengaluru. So he is obviously going to be shedding a lot of light on the malaise that we are all facing and are vulnerable to. Welcome to FrontPage. How are you doing, Supreet?
I'm good. Sudhi, how are you doing? Thank you for joining me here.
Scary numbers, Supreet. Just off the bat, I'd like to start there. Let's actually first understand, since you've had these conversations with the representatives from the cybercrime division, how does this scam take place? Because I believe it starts off like a normal recruiter conversation, and then suddenly things just escalate.
Right. There was a wonderful line that somebody, a cybersecurity expert, told me. Cybercrimes is less about tech, more about your psychology. You know, in today's day and age, everyone's looking out for a job. Everyone's desperate. I mean, given the market conditions and whatnot. What happens is someone who claims to be a reputable HR manager or a hiring manager, you know, it doesn't take a lot of time to craft a very good looking profile on LinkedIn, right? They reach out to you with a lucrative or a promising job offer, and that's it. They manipulate you into continuing the conversation, and LinkedIn is less of a resource to the scammer, more of an avenue to reach the victim. Right? It starts off with LinkedIn because all of us have this mental model that, okay, LinkedIn is relatively untouched by scammers.
Which is true,
right?
I think, yeah.
I think I'd expect to be defrauded on WhatsApp,
Correct.
Telegram, or like a phone call, but LinkedIn isn't a place right off the top of my mind where I'd be vulnerable to a scam. That's precisely the advantage that's being used, right? Promised a job, the moment they take you out of the site, you are essentially, you know, vulnerable
then in
to phishing.
troubled waters.
Exactly. Then they call you, they ask you to deposit some money. In some cases, they tell you, okay, here's a job opportunity where you deposit some money and we sort of start, we're going to give you returns on it. There's some crypto scams going on. Essentially, it all happens on LinkedIn as an avenue. And the moment you're taken off, you deposit money, you do a lot of things, and there you go.
So essentially, it's exploiting the vulnerability pretty much, no, Supreet? And the fact that the mindset that LinkedIn would not be the place where one would experience something like this.
Exactly.
What are the numbers telling you in terms of the fact that the kind of defrauding that has taken place and for how long?
Yep. I think the staggering number that you just read out, more than 5,000 crores have been lost due to cybercrime.
This is just in Karnataka.
Just in Karnataka. And in India, 31,500 crores have been lost from 2029 to 2024 due to cybercrime. If you look at Bengaluru, if you just narrow down to a city, 4,143 crores have been lost, same 2023 to 2025 period. So that's a lot of money.
But you know what? What actually stuns me, Supreet, is the fact that only a couple of weeks back there was a digital awareness week that took place. And of course, you can please keep your laptop on the table.
Right.
Please feel comfortable. So the fact that, you know, what stuns me is that there are these constant awareness weeks which are taking place. There are so many authorities which are pleading almost to so many people to be aware, to be a little more cognizant of what they're doing. But still, those numbers are staggering.
There's a thing that goes around in the world of cybersecurity. It's a cat and mouse chase, but the mouse is always ahead. The mice are always ahead. People keep coming up with new and new techniques every single day. Back in the day, you'd have to enter your details into getting scammed. Now it all takes place with just one link, right? Even with the LinkedIn scam you mentioned, very sophisticated scams let you sort of pursue you into clicking a link that downloads malware into your Android phone, gives access to sensitive data. Even many links that enable or pursue people into install .apk application package files on Android. And Sudhi, just today, unfortunately, an army officer who was 51 years old in Pune, lost 40 lakh in a forex trading scheme, right? And another news that we recently saw, someone lost 12 lakh rupees installing a fraudulent
Wow.
APK file on Android. These are very sophisticated schemes where very less information is present in front of you to judge whether this is a scam or not, right? So because of the new techniques that keep emerging day in and day out, RBI, and many other entities need to keep conducting these awareness drives, which is also one of the very reasons why Bengaluru police and many other state police departments are very active on social media platforms in terms of their outreach and citizen awareness programs. All in all, it's a sad state of affairs where people have access to technology, even the scammers, and they're coming up in very innovative ways to scam people.
Tell me this. You had a conversation today with a representative from the cybercrime department. What was the tonality that you could sense? What could you sense in terms of, let's say, the awareness aspects, or was it a sense of helplessness, or was it that they were fairly clear that, okay, fine, we'll be able to maybe curb this as we move along because these are the guardrails that we are following?
Right. Of course, on numerous public records and reports, the Karnataka Police Department have been actively, pursuing the arrest of cyber criminals. Like, for example, 1,300 plus arrests have been made in just Bengaluru cybercrime cases from 2023 to 2025. The word out there is essentially the same as what they posted on social media, that you got to be hyper aware, right? I use the word hyper instead of extra.
Define that, Supreet.
You got to be extra vigilant. A link, just clicking on a link would not do much harm, but now it does, right? So please do verify, who you're clicking a link from. Any form or any application that you want to download, please do it via a Google search or the Play stores or app stores, and do it on your own. If someone is pursuing you to do things, that's a huge red flag in itself. Right? Ensure you really want to do it. Ensure this is not coming from a fraudulent sources. One simple mental model that I can point out, look at the number of downloads that have been made. Look at the number of reviews on an app. It's very unlikely an app that has very less downloads and reviews is going to help you in any way, for that matter, right?
Fair guideline.
Yeah. Let's say a employment company comes out and asks you to download an app that's masquerading as another big company's name. The fact that it has very less downloads and very less stars tell you a lot of information, right? You just got to read more information that's present on your screen and make a call for yourself, and just don't fall into scams, or I wouldn't say don't fall into scams. That's very stupid of me to say.
No, but I mean, you're right.
Just don't fall into places where you're persuaded to do something, where you're psychologically manipulated to do something, right? That's also why digital arrests happen. Also why deepfake scams sort of happen. Someone's pretending to be your mother or father, and they're pleading you to give you money. That's a huge red flag. And a very dystopian way people are handling with this, I read recently, families now have a secret 8-digit code in cases of emergencies where someone is being contacted on a phone. If your sister is calling you, ask her, hey, I'm going to send you money, but please tell us our code that we decided in cases of emergency.
Which is a good thought.
That is a good thought, but
I know.
Think of it, it's so dystopian. So,
it's very disturbing. But you know what? Recently I was reading up on this particular scam that took place, which was that... And this could happen to any one of us. We make payments across various platforms, right? So apparently when the scanner is shown to you, you know that one? Where you just very innocently go ahead and probably point your camera towards it, but then you've not read if it is linking up to a certain pattern of payments, which are maybe 12, 13, 14. And suddenly you've made your payment, it could be 150 bucks. But suddenly you're lost maybe 15 lakhs over the course of period of time.
Right. Exactly. I think, as I mentioned, vigilance is really important. The more details that you can read on, let's say, your payments app or your UPay app, it's much more beneficial. The root cause of all of this is manipulation and persuasion, right? So avoid, doing that. Ensure you have some methods to verify someone is a family member before you, let's say if someone calls you from an unknown number trying to scam you, the first thing you could do is try to call the actual number of your family member, right? And also UPI apps these days have come up with methods to stop scams in terms of, let's say when you're on a call and you're making a UPI payment, you get a notification banner saying, be very careful while making UPI payments on a call, because statistically that's the most common method where money is extracted, from someone. So that's essentially the way people get, scammed. Just need to stay hyper vigilant, but it is a sad state of affairs where scamming has become more and more easy. It's kind of even sad, even with AI coming in, right? People invest like thousands of crores in building AI models, but it just takes a monthly 350 rupee whatever subscription to create a deep fake. Look at the cost that it takes to develop and cost that it takes to exploit. There's a magnitude of difference.
I think what I've understood, Supreet, and I believe in this, that sometimes just going back to the old school ways of maybe just making a call, verifying, calling up the company and checking.
Exactly.
I think those things make sense, and they always will continue to make sense.
Exactly.
No matter how much technology that we shall keep having in terms of its progress. Finally, I want you to sum this up. It is something that you and I are going to keep following as we keep going along, purely from the awareness point of view, that what are the new angles we can bring to people. Finally, I want you to sum it up from the point that there are creative ways that people are using. That is one. But what do you feel moving forward should be the way in terms of citizens at large to do? Should they have communication with, let's say, the cybercrime department? Are there any awareness weeks which are being constantly held by the department themselves? Because I feel also vulnerability is one. Also, it's a lack of knowledge, because there is a certain group or an age strata which is hit.
Exactly.
So maybe just shed some light on that.
It's also it's also the age and the competence and the professional basically the amount of money someone has that makes them more and more vulnerable. Why is LinkedIn a lucrative platform? Because you have people who likely have more money interacting in those platforms. For example, someone lost 31 crore rupees in Bengaluru due to digital arrest. If someone has 31 crores in their account, obviously they're very well versed with technology. They're very well versed with awareness. They listen to YouTube, Instagram, all the awareness drives that are there, and still they are sort of manipulated it. Again and again, you keep coming back to this point that it's less technical, it's less intuitive, but it's less psychological. It's exposing that core human vulnerability, that emotions, what makes us human. These are dragged in and sort of exploited from us. I think more and more, as you mentioned a very good point. When you're transferring huge sums of money, much better to take it slow, right? Much better to ensure it's in a safe space, right? And also you have your limits on your credit card and all of these little things that you need to do, right? Ensure that you always keep your limits low. These are some of the basic things that people do, but ideally you wouldn't have to do that, right? You wouldn't have to do things like that. So hypervigilance is something that people sort of keep advocating. If there's a lot of high value deposits that you're going to do, much better do it in presence of a bank employee physically. Sadly, digital modes and digital payment modes were here to bring convenience, and they still do. But now you got to be super vigilant. But that's with people like me and you who can read English, right? Most of these apps are in English. But what about someone who's very well versed in the native language and not English? They're still vulnerable to crimes, right? Many people just have 2,000 rupees in their bank account, and they're still lured into a lot of things. So, and the other thing you mentioned, how do you sort of help the authorities ensure? Just Karnataka has been very active in their cybercrime, initiatives to curb cybercrime. So reach out to the officials before it's too late, and at least if it's on a credit card, people can easily reverse the charges.
And the line is 1930, if I'm not wrong.
Right, if I'm
the
not wrong
helpline
as well.
is.
Yes, exactly. So it's a sad state of affairs. A woman losing 31 crores after being pursued for 6 months is extremely sad, and it sort of exposes the core vulnerability of you being human and having emotions. So, as RBI's Digital Awareness Week comes to a conclusion, I think we'll all have to be super vigilant, take it really slow in terms of dealing with unknown people, dealing with new numbers. The moment you have a new number asking for money, that's a huge red
That's
flag.
it. Fair. Supreet, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I really hope that moving forward, we'll be probably able to bring a lot more information to people, which can genuinely help them in their daily lives and transactions.
Right. And just before we read, please make sure you read all the news reports of cyber fraud, because at least 15 to 20 people I know were were at least called with the FedEx scam, the DHL scam, right? Some scam techniques are very common. So the moment you read someone who's being defrauded by a scam activity, please ensure to read the article so that it rings a bell next time when someone approaches you with the same technique. So just read up about it. That's all I have to say. This discussion barely touches the surface.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, you've touched on a lot of important points. Thank you as always. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And now, of course, it's time for the front page take. Professional networks have changed how people find jobs. We are aware of that. But criminals are now, of course, moving through those same spaces. The most effective defense may be simple awareness, knowing that a genuine job opportunity never begins with a payment request, as Supreet had pointed out. It is about hypervigilance, it is about awareness, and it's most importantly not exposing one's own vulnerability to somebody who is willing to take absolute and complete advantage of. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Front Page by the AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, and of course, think vigilant, think AIM.